Good morning on Tuesday, the 12th of November, 2024. It's 8 a.m. in the Gambia and live on West Coast Radio. It's Coffee Time with me, Peter Gomez. Thanks for joining us. And Coffee Time is brought to you in association with partners led by TAF Africa Global, Bloombank Africa, Easy Financial Services, Global Properties, The Gambia Experience, WAVE, the U.S. Poultry and Egg Export Council, and GAM Food Trading.
The American Chicken Festival 2024 is here. Join us for the second annual celebration of all things chicken on Saturday, November 23rd at Hyperlink Village, Palmer Junction, Bethel Harding Highway from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Hello, I am Chef Boja. I'm excited to return for the second annual Chicken Festival.
With over 40 international options from a diverse list of vendors. Music by DJ Wanjo, raffles, the variety show, and plenty of family-friendly fun.
From local to international, we got something for everyone.
Come see and taste the difference. Make it a date and don't be late.
And coming up over the next 2 hours, as world leaders consider a new climate future for a rapidly warming planet, we hear from our Minister of the Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources at the COP29 conference in Azerbaijan. Facing allegations of favoritism in academic staff promotions, the University of the Gambia Governing Council issues a statement to clear the air. Then from 8:30 a.m. to 9, it's all about DT Associates, a company that has provided audit and tax-related services in this country for 60 years. From 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., we expect the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services to join us with new updates on the achievements and remaining challenges of the government he serves. And from 9:30 to the end of the program, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment will be around to talk about something that was meant to be received as a blessing, but has quickly turned out to be one more bane for our scandal-prone government. Now, you might think there wouldn't be room for anything more this morning. But remember, Coffee Time on Tuesday is never complete without Alagie Barrows' opinion. After biting back at the information minister last week, Alagie is all about camaraderie this time, and I couldn't wish for any better subject. And with the Gambia still having to play its home matches in third countries, I've been hearing from football expert Kabba Ceesay about the reasons for the Independent Stadium's failure yet again to pass CAF inspection despite a costly taxpayer-funded makeover. And of course, we always welcome your comments on anything heard on the program or questions you may have for our guests. If you'd like to get in touch from wherever this morning, we are on 7711599 and 9910959 for regular SMS texts and +220 9232 333 for WhatsApps. Thank you for joining us.
Good day, my people. My name is Marcel Sanyang, Bank Farafenya branch. I just want to encourage my customers to use our mobile app and use our ATM. You don't even need to come to the bank to do any transaction. You can be at your home and you do your transactions. You can also use our ATMs. When the queue is long, you don't even need to enter the bank. Just use the ATM and off you go. I just want to encourage all of you that Trust Bank, we are here for you. We will make sure that we give you all what you need in your banking. Thank you.
We start this newspaper review with the point. Gambian women in grip of frustration over rising fish prices. 82 called to the bar. VC urges government to build forensic lab to identify exhumed bodies. Government to implement HRMIS to better manage civil service. British High Commission and partners lay wreaths to commemorate Remembrance Day. Bloombank holds discourse on Africa and global trade. and how Mustafa Ba's wife discovered her husband's body. Next, Foroya, whose main headline claims to expose the will to sell the Gambian passport to a non-national. Elsewhere, the paper says, November 11 victims demand return of loved ones' remains. Police investigate theft of used NAWEC transformers. Contractor says KMC awarded contracts by phone call. Technical and financial challenges hinder implementation of TRRC recommendations. And in its editorial, Foroya describes as strange the budget session yet to start. Next, we pick up the Voices front page. Victims and families of November 11 atrocity urge government to continue search for remains. Gambians raise concerns over soaring commodity prices. Gambia Ferry Services takes crown for incompetence and horrible service, says UDP. Professor Raphael Nyakoti Obu joins Gambia Bar with aim to champion traditional and complementary medicine. Central Badibu chief cautions gardeners to create fire belts around gardens, and Gambia College animal welfare advocates sensitized on animal welfare. And finally, this Tuesday morning, the Standard's front page, GTU warns teacher strike possible unless government acts now. Barrow sends delegations to Islamic Summit and COP29. British High Commission and others observe Remembrance Day. Nigeria gets Gambia's backing for UN Security Council seat. NHRC stages Remembrance Day for November 11 victims. And Barrow to address second Blue Economy Conference in Banjul. And that was your first look at Tuesday's newspaper front pages. We thank the editors and reporters of The Point, Foroya, The Voice, and The Standard.
Did you know service plots are now available at Baki? Welcome to Baki, Taft City's fourth residential estate.
Yes, service plots available at Baki with 3 years interest-free payment plan with a minimum deposit of only $94,000, and it will come with fence plot, water reticulation, electricity, solar street lights, and bituminized internal roads. Are you ready to build your dream home for yourself?
Call us now.
Begin today at the University of the Gambia, UTG, where the Governing Council has issued a statement on the case of 2 senior lecturers who alleged that promotions at the UTG are discriminatory, with those who are critical of management being overlooked as lecturers deemed non-hostile get elevated whether they meet the requirements for promotion or not. It's an allegation the UTG management takes very seriously, and after months investigating the allegation, the Governing Council has reached a conclusion. And it has chosen Coffee Time to share its findings, the full details of which I'll play you right after this.
Looking for an establishment where value for money and unrivaled services with admirable turnaround time is guaranteed? The Port of Banjul is the perfect place for you. A vital gateway for trade offering connections to numerous global destinations. With improved infrastructure combined with a flexible tariff, the Port of Banjul remains a vital node in maritime trade. Along with its dedicated workforce, efficient service delivery, technology-inspired innovation, and an impressive record in handling all types of cargo, the Port of Banjul is also widely acknowledged as one of the safest ports on the continent with no history of piracy. As a major player in the region's maritime trade, accounting for 90% of all imports and exports, we are more than just a transit point, but a vital cog in the global trade sphere. Come experience a hassle-free fast customs clearance inspired by our simplified trade documentation procedures, safe and efficient cargo and vessel handling. The Port of Banjul offers prompt, reliable and value-for-money service, and customer satisfaction is guaranteed.
The University of the Gambia, UTG, has strongly denied allegations of favoritism in academic staff promotions leveled against it by 2 senior lecturers. The full details now in this press release received on Monday. Press release. Unfounded allegations about promotions at the University of the Gambia, UTG. On June 19th and 20th, 2024, in the Standard newspaper and the Fatu Network respectively, and subsequently on various other media platforms, a senior lecturer and an associate professor of the University of the Gambia, jointly or severally, caused to be published allegations that had the effect of tarnishing the image of the university and bringing the entire staff promotion system of the University of the Gambia and the integrity of those who operate it into total disrepute. They alleged that the system was intentionally skewed against Gambian academics and that promotions were based on favoritism. The foreign academic staff were stigmatized with insinuations about their qualifications and value. They accused the Vice-Chancellor and management of being complicit in an agenda to reward favorites and suppress the promotions of staff who criticized management. The publications contained a variety of spurious accusations meant to embarrass and discredit all involved in the running of the university, from the Governing Council, Senate, senior management, to senior government appointees, with innuendos that served only to cast doubts on the integrity and attainments of those persons. Prior to their being given national and global publicity, the allegations were not brought to the attention of the Governing Council for investigation and remedy if found to be true. In line with the UTG conditions of service, a written notification was sent by the Governing Council to the two senior academic staff involved to substantiate the allegations made, but their responses were unsatisfactory as they did not provide any proof or evidence to support their claims. The Council therefore instituted a disciplinary committee in full compliance with the relevant bylaws and conditions of service. The committee was made of 2 members of the Council, including the Solicitor General, 2 members of the University Senate, the highest academic body, and 1 independent personality from civil society, with the registrar as recorder. Top in the terms of reference of the committee was to hear from the 2 senior academic staff as to why they broke the official routine for airing complaints, and to give them the opportunity to submit proofs to support their widely circulated allegations. On the day of the hearing, the senior lecturer and associate professor came, but refused to answer any questions and to provide proof for any of their allegations. Rather, they accused the disciplinary committee of not being properly constituted and branded it as a tool of management. They denounced the 2 elected Senate members as conflicted and threatened legal action against the Vice-Chancellor and the Governing Council. After an acrimonious encounter with the disciplinary committee, the 2 senior academic staff walked out of the hearing room. Not fazed by the uncooperative, aggressive, and uncivil behavior of the 2 senior academics, the disciplinary committee made arrangements to gather more evidence on promotion practices and procedures at the UTG. They interviewed 3 witnesses. These were a former provost, dean, and deputy vice-chancellor academic, who had also served as chairman of the Appointments and Promotions Committee academic, a former registrar, and a current dean who was the chairman of the Appointments and Promotions Committee that processed the 2023 set of applications for promotion, which are at the center of the allegations. The conclusion from all the submissions of the 3 witnesses was that the allegations of manipulation and malpractices in the promotions process at UTG were unfounded and ill-intentioned. In addition to the absence of facts to back up the accusations, the sequence of events in the case showed that the intention of the 2 lecturers was to sow dissatisfaction among staff against management. For example, on May the 10th, 2024, the registrar had informed the university community that there was a delay in the processing of candidates for promotion. The registrar's letter conveyed the Vice-Chancellor's assurance that those who would be promoted would not lose any benefits, as at that time, the Vice-Chancellor had not yet received the report and recommendations of the Appointments and Promotions Committee on the 2023 promotions. However, on June 19th and 20th, 2024, the 2 senior academics published their series of reckless allegations against the Council, Vice-Chancellor, and management that went viral in the media. Then, on July 15th, 2024, the Appointments and Promotions Committee submitted its final report to the Vice-Chancellor. The Promotions Committee chairman's explanation for the delay was the large number of applicants and the volume of documentation involved. There were late submissions of applications too. Also, the schedule of the committee's meetings was occasionally disrupted when other urgent matters came up involving members of the committee. It is obvious from the chronology above that the Vice-Chancellor could not have delayed or manipulated a report with recommendations he had not yet received. The University of the Gambia has criteria and procedures for the promotion of academic staff which comply with universal best practice and procedures. Briefly, the Appointments and Promotions Committee Academic is made up of some of the most senior faculty members, including professors, 3 to 5, and a subject specialist relevant to each candidate's area. 2 members of the Governing Council serve in it as observers only. The Vice-Chancellor is the designated chairman, but in practice, he ceded this responsibility to the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, or in his absence, one of the most senior professors. The Registrar is the Secretary to the Appointments and Promotions Committee. Applications for promotion in the lecturer to senior lecturer cadres are assessed first at the faculty school level before the dossiers are forwarded to the Appointments and Promotions Committee. For progression to the ranks of associate or full professor, each candidate's publications and dossier are reviewed by 3 external assessors outside of the UTG, 2 of whom must endorse and recommend the applicant before appointment to the next rank. All the reports and recommendations from the Appointments and Promotions Committee are submitted to the Vice-Chancellor, who presents them to the Governing Council for approval. These stages in the process are being strictly followed. The disciplinary committee gathered documentary evidence to confirm adherence to the approved process. It is therefore a grave injustice to the council, management, and senate of the university for anyone to create the impression to the entire world without any iota of evidence that the sacred principles for career progression in academia are being abused at the UTG. The Governing Council wishes to assure all Gambians of its absolute commitment to building and upholding the highest standards of probity and integrity in its operations and decision-making process. As an institution whose responsibility it is to impart knowledge and to mold the character of its students, the university will not betray the trust of the entire nation for the benefit or pleasure of any individual. The Council also reassures our foreign academics, the vast majority of whom are on the Nigerian government's Technical Assistance Corps or TAC program, of the Council's deep appreciation of theirs and their government's contribution to the advancement of the UTG. It is important to restate that the development of the capacity of Gambian academics is high in the agenda of the Governing Council and management. Currently, over 50 Gambian staff are on their terminal degree or PhD programs in various fields, both in UTG and in universities around the world, sponsored under the Staff Development Portfolio of the UTG. That is not counting the dozens of staff who have completed their courses. But we urge patience and hard work to go through the academic ladder in the normal tradition for growth within academia. Much as we all wish to develop local capacity, it is important not to sacrifice quality for unwholesome sentimentality. Our duty is to have the best in their field to instruct and train our future leaders who pass through the university. The vast majority of the staff, who are hardworking and conscientious, are being appreciated and encouraged to be steadfast in their patriotic commitment to the development of our youth for a peaceful and prosperous Gambia. Meanwhile, the Governing Council wishes it to be known that the case of the unsubstantiated and sham allegations by the 2 senior academic staff of the university is now being treated as a purely disciplinary matter. Signed, Secretary, Governing Council, University of the Gambia.
The American Chicken Festival 2024 is here. Join us for the 2nd annual celebration of all things chicken on Saturday, November 23rd at Hyperlink Village, Palmer Junction, Bethel Harding Highway from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Hello, I am Chef Boja. I'm excited to return for the second annual Chicken Festival.
With over 40 international options from a diverse list of vendors. Music by DJ Wanjo, raffles, the variety show, and plenty of family-friendly fun.
From local to international, we got something for everyone.
Come see and taste the difference. Make it a date and don't be late.
If you want to advertise on the program, get in touch with Mr. Jibril Jassi, 699-0107, 787-0107, or 924-2424. It's now time for Alagie Barrow, and on his agenda today is friendship. Alagie.
There are few better feelings than having a true friend. A friend who would sensibly stand by you through good and bad times. A friend that you can talk to about anything and not have to worry about it being repeated elsewhere. A friend who would not be in your circle while carrying water for those who despise you. A friend who would support you whenever they can. A friend who knows to forgive your foibles and help you walk on them. A friend who would not incubate grudges against you, waiting for a suitable time to unleash their fury on you. In short, there is no better feeling than having a true friend. Having said that, friendship also comes with responsibilities, and perhaps one of the most important pillars of any friendship is honesty. Your friendship with anyone may be based on shared commonalities, but it is the shared values that will see you through the ups and downs of your relationship. No friendship can be real if it is not undergirded by honesty. Loyalty is another important element of friendship. A true friend will stick by you in good or bad times. That is how it's supposed to be. However, loyalty to a friend must have limits. Or rather, loyalty to a friend must never supersede your shared values. Your loyalty to your friend must be based on honesty and not loyalty for loyalty's sake. If someone I consider a friend does something I know is wrong, chances are you will never see me join the crowd baying for his blood. But you will not see me defending their actions either. What I will do is encourage my friend to admit to his wrongdoing, and I will be there to help him correct his behavior or wrongdoing. If my friend digs in and refuses to take responsibility, then I will hold him to account. What I will not do is come out in public trying to sanitize my friend. That is not being loyal. That is mindlessness. Telling people they cannot destroy your friend when they call him or her out for their behavior is as mindless as it is disloyal to your friend. A true friend will not support or defend your bad behavior. They will support your person. A true friend does not limit their judgment to your interactions with them. They will extend their judgment to how you interact with others who are not as close to you. In private, a true friend will not tell you that your actions are wrong, only to go and defend those actions in public. A true friend is not one who sees no wrong you commit or finds any fault in anything you do or say. A true friend does not see what others have done to you and closes his eyes to what you have done to others. May our friendships be maintained by shared values. May our friends be the first ones to tell us the undiluted truth when we falter. May our friends never conflate mindlessness with loyalty. May our friends differentiate what it means to stand by us and what it means to encourage bad behavior by supporting us. May your friendship be as beautiful as the moon that illuminates the cheerful Bantaba in Badibu Kachang during harvest season.
Interestingly, my friend happens to be from Badibu, but not Kachang, rather Alkali Kunda. Hearts were broken across the country last week when it emerged that the Independence Stadium remains banned. The Gambia is to host Comoros for a home match later this week, but that game is now having to be played outside the Gambia in Morocco. Well, I caught up over the weekend with football expert Kabba Ceesay to ask about the conditions for CAF and FIFA approval for stadia. Kabba, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Now, a couple of weeks ago, there was a buzz right across the country. I mean, football fans were excited because news had just broken that the Independent Stadium had been approved to go back to hosting CAF and FIFA Category 3 matches. But no sooner had the news broken, that came, additional news that no, that was actually misleading. That the game against Comoros cannot take place at the stadium because inspectors had come and they were not satisfied with the condition of the pitch. Were you surprised by this development?
Thank you very much, Peter, for having me this morning. Honestly speaking, Peter, yes. I was surprised with the unfortunate development, as most Gambians are like. The reason, Peter, being that last August, we have endured a similar blow from CAF inspectors. Peter, I got the conviction that, learning from past experience, they would have followed the set requirements to avoid a recurrence. But here we are once again, Peter. Very, very unfortunate.
And apparently, even though the inspectors or inspector recognized some good things about the the refurbishment, including, for instance, the dressing rooms, the spectator stands, the media zone, the hospitality services, and other key structural elements, the overall condition of the pitch, the field of play, seemed to be the problem. According to the inspectors, it still requires significant improvement to meet the standards necessary for holding Category 3 CAF or FIFA matches. The requirements haven't been fully met. Are you surprised by this? What is your take? Because apparently there was a checklist of things that had to be in place before the inspector or inspectors arrived.
Yes, absolutely, Peter. Following the first disapproval, Peter, I wrote on my Facebook page dated August 2nd, 2023, captioned taxpayers' money here at stake. I did mention in that post that government lacked the technical guidance, and that was the reason for the disapproval. However, I did provide a checklist for guidance. Because basically there are two inspection components here. One is the structural facilities, and the other is the football pitch. During CAF's last inspection mission to the Gambia, the inspectors looked at the first component and straight away shown their dissatisfaction. I am pretty sure that government had consulted the recommended checklist for compliance for the structural facilities as guidance to get it right. They should have done the same for the second component, which is more complex and technical in nature than the first. In my opinion, this second component was taken for granted. Those failed to meet the set requirements, and here we are once again, Peter.
But when you look at the videos circulating on social media, Kabba, and you compare what we have that is supposed to be substandard with what some other countries approved for Category 3 matches have, I mean, you wonder why we would still not be approved. I mean, the pitch looks beautiful. Where do you think we are still getting it wrong as far as the pitch is concerned?
Peter, just as I said earlier, the second component is more complex and technical in nature than the first. The world governing body FIFA has provided guide to our decision making, and by ensuring that such pitches are constructed and maintained to a standard that optimizes player performance and guarantee player safety. Failure to follow the guide will result in such negative outcomes, Peter.
Please help us with this guide. I mean, enlighten our listeners. I mean, what's in this guide? What does it say that the Gambia seem not to be getting right still?
Peter, in 2021, to be precise, FIFA, they have launched the quality program for natural playing surface together with guide and test manual. The purpose of these documents are to help monitor and optimize pitches by standardizing the assessment process. The assessment is designed to evaluate three things basically: agronomic performance, performance, player safety interaction, and ball surface interaction. Peter, going to the question, the guide talked about design and construction, pitch infrastructure, grass selection, maintenance, monitoring pitch performance, among other things. Under pitch monitoring, you have testing and rating systems. Basically, the ideal playing surface is judged by two things, that is playability and safety. FIFA, they have a unique rating system with parameters that covers three things basically, that is characteristics, consistency, and subjective assessment. Peter, for each quantifiable characteristic, rating goes from unacceptable quality, which is awarded 1 point, poor quality, 3 points, satisfactory quality, 5 points, good quality, 7 points, and excellent quality, 10 points. For consistency, you have highly variable, 1 point, variable, 3 points, normal variability, 5 points, consistent, 7 points, very consistent, 10 points. Note, consistency will not be considered for the pitch rating score if the characteristics is rated as unacceptable quality or poor quality. For subjective assessment, you have major concern with the pitch under consideration, minor concern, and no concern. 1 point, 5 points, and 10 points respectively. Each of these parameters, that is characteristics, consistency, and subjective assessments, are weighted based on its overall importance to the performance of the pitch. Amount to bribe in exchange for favor. No, these are figures. The rating score is expressed as a percentage representing the sum of each characteristic score multiplied by its weighting divided by the maximum score possible. Peter, FIFA mooy wax, not Kabba Ceesay. The official report can only be generated using the test result uploaded to the FIFA Quality Program database. I think this is very clear and transparent. Because whenever one receives disapproval, be rest assured that there is a deficiency gap between findings and some basic requirements. And that is what happened to the Gambian case, Peter.
And on the issue of requirements, so when these inspectors go out, what are some of the key indicators that they focus on?
Some of the indicators that would include ball rebound, ball roll, shock absorption, deformation, rotational resistance, and surface evenness, among others. Let me try to explain these indicators in detail for listeners to digest.
Absolutely, yes.
Let's look at the ball rebound first. Ball rebound is a measure of the response of a football when it rebounds vertically off the surface. Methodologically, the ball bounces higher off a hard surface and lower off a soft, muddy surface.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Absolutely.
The density of the pitch will also have an influence. With denser pitch offering less bounce, that's obvious. This key indicator is concerned about playability. Number two, let's look at ball roll. Peter, ball roll relates to the speed of the surface. A ball that rolls relatively far is effectively not encountering as much resistance from the pitch, resulting in the ball moving more quickly over the surface. A number of factors can influence ball roll, that is, the height and the density of the cut grass, or the type of cultivar used, as moisture on the ground can also be influenced. This indicator is concerned about playability as well. Rotational resistance. Peter, this key indicator is a measure of the grip that a player feels when changing direction as they run across the pitch. Too much grip puts stress on the lower extremity joint. The physio knows about that. However, conversely, if there is too little grip, the player will lose control of their movement and they could slide or slip on the surface. This indicator, in contrast, is concerned about player safety, shock absorption. This testing is a mechanical attempt to stimulate the impact that a player feels when running on the surface. This indicator also concerned about player safety. Deformation. This refers to the extent to which the surface is depressed as a player on the pitch and their boot makes contact on the ground. The surface that deforms too much will feel unstable to the player, causing them to adjust to compensate for the instability. This one is concerned about both playability and safety, player safety. Surface evenness. This testing assesses the evenness of the pitch. Beyond a minimal amount of surface irregularity, the movement of the ball will be affected in an adverse manner, resulting in it bubbling over the pitch or deviating from its path. This is about playability. Because these are some indicators that inspectors focuses on when evaluating pitch performance. I think it is clear for listeners to have an idea.
Indeed.
Peter.
And thank you very much for the clarification, Kabba. And just finally, on the issue of playing home matches away, the country is divided. You have fans who say it is not harming our players because, it was while playing home matches away that we secured 2 qualifications to the Africa Cup of Nations, whereas you have those who insist it's better for the players to play in front of their fans. They would perform even better. Where do you stand on this? What are the players missing by playing their home matches away from home, literally to empty stadia?
Absolutely. Peter, home matches in football offer several advantages which can significantly influence the outcome of games. Let me give you some key advantages. Familiarity with the venue. If we were to play at the Independence Stadium, the boys knows the pitch better than the opponent. The home match offers a huge fan base support. Home match reduce travel fatigue. Again, home match bring less travel stresses. You have routine and comfort as well. What I mean by routine is players can maintain their usual routine, including training and pre-match preparation, which can enhance performance. And the comfort at home, staying in familiar surroundings, can reduce stress and anxiety to players. Psychological advantage as well. Playing at home can instill confidence in players, knowing they are in a supportive environment. Pressure on the opponent. The visiting team may feel additional pressure to perform well in front of a hostile crowd. That's obvious. Strategic opportunity. Coaches can adjust their strategy, often tailored to exploit the strength of the home ground, such as using specific formation or playing style that suits the environment. Overall, these advantages can significantly influence the outcome of matches, making home games a crucial aspect of a team's overall performance. Unfortunately, this Gambian team, the team of Gambian football, are missing these opportunities. Peter, not because of lack of government will, in my opinion, but we lack the technical guidance to get our stadium fixed. I think that is the bottom line, Peter.
Which is unfortunate. And Kabba, since we are talking before the Gambia takes on Comoros later this week, the importance, the significance of this game, what do you think?
This one is like most win situation, Peter. We have to win, otherwise we're basically out. It's a must win, definitely. The coach knows that, and the players should know that. That we have to do with their psyche, mental preparation. I think it's a must win, Peter.
And I hope they give us a result on Friday. That was Kabba Ceesay, football expert.